I spend some of my time down here in Arizona. My husband works down here, and one of the beauties of Arizona is the mild winter weather, but it's not that mild, clearly, because I have my toque on, and we have to have a pool heater to get in the pool to heat it up. So it's not like polar bear, outside in the water, because the water gets down to 50, which is not
That's very
doable.
cold.
Yeah. We heat it up to about, I think it's about 88 right now. So it's comfortable, even though it's a little windy, you can see. But the thing that's beautiful about this really for me is, I'm just like everybody else. I have my ups and downs, my tragedies, my difficulties. And with the pandemic and some other things in my life, I've had some really difficult days and weeks and months at points. And there was just this one time that was particularly difficult. It was poignant. I got in the pool, and I think because it was such a dramatic sensory experience, this is why I could recognize it, right? Because in this pool, in this moment, it highlights and turns on all of my senses. So I get in the pool and I can feel the water right on my skin. I can feel the heat of the water. Right now it's a little windy, so I can feel the water evaporate off my skin. Um, and I don't know how the view is. Oh, I forgot to throw the bread out for our birds. We have quail and dove and other birds that we just toss out seed and a little bit of bread, and you'll hear them cluck and coo, and the mourning dove do their beautiful morning, dove coo. It's so mournful. I realized it wasn't morning as in the sun is up. It's morning as in it's sad, you
Yeah,
know. Um,
right.
yeah. So I'd hear the birds, um, the sunshine, obviously. And then if you'll notice, so we have a waterfall back there, and if I have that on, I can hear the trickling of the water. And then you can see the green all around the pool. And I don't know how well you can see it this way, but there's also a view of the Superstition Mountain Range out there.
Is that right there that I can see right there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Superstition Mountain Range, and then you can see the sky is so blue.
Oh yeah.
And so visually, it's kind of drenching my senses. And so sound, touch. Oh, and then I often bring my beautiful little mug of tea
Oh,
and keep it in the best, you know, um, container for keeping the heat in, so I can take a sip of my tea in the pool. And so I'm not actually even tasting. So all my senses are lit up, and then the buoyancy of the pool is kind of a nurturing, comforting feeling when you're
mm-hmm.
buoyed up by the water, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, I realized in the moment I was just kind of noticing all my senses. I realized, oh my gosh, I'm feeling sense of peace or ease or contentment, and none of my life problems have changed. Nothing has changed. I've been in the pool a couple of minutes and I feel like life is good. And outside of the pool, I was thinking life is hard. Life is difficult. I don't want to do this stuff. And it was just that aha moment. It's like, oh, this is why ACT talks so much about present moment awareness and diffusion and some of those things to help us with not changing our circumstance necessarily, and especially in the moment where we can't really do a whole lot to change even our own stuff. um, I could have a sense of it's going to be okay, I'm okay. And when you have that experience and your senses are calming your fight or flight system, that's when and I take this from, I think, dialectical behavioral therapy, the term wise mind. Wise mind can come back online, which is the interplay of emotions with reason and logic, because that's the ultimate space we want to be in. we talked in our last video, that idea of the New York City incident bringing up fear. So we want our emotions to be there, and we want our logic and reason to be there because we have brains to use. And those interplays give us wise mind. And then we can quiet the fight or flight. Our wise mind comes back online. It's like, what can I do? How can I sort this problem? What's the part that I have control over and can act on? And what's the part of this is life. This is the situation. There's people, places, events, um, circumstances I can't change.
Right. And in the present moment, that's the only opportunity we have to affect any change in our life. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's only in the here and now.
Yeah.
Um, and can I ask you to comment on something, Kathy? When we've been doing our studies in ACT, and I've certainly heard you say this as well, that one of the, should we call it maybe one of the hacks, one of the tricks of coming into present moment awareness is to come into our bodies. And I feel like that there's an irony there, because sometimes when we're ruminating in the past or the future, we're up here, and in order to get back into the present, we have to get more in touch with our bodies. And there's almost, I feel like a chest or a gut. There's like a, I don't know, a different presence or a different awareness about that. We just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And it's ACT draws from um all traditions. That's what makes ACT so comprehensive and so beautiful. And it's so embracing. If you have a practice or a work that you do that's helpful, it's going to fall in the umbrella of ACT. It's what works, right? And so a lot of what they've embraced is Eastern traditions. So meditation, especially somatic experiencing in your body. And this idea, I think, again, that last video was, we feel fear. Often we describe it as bodily sensations, right? So I'm feeling fear. Where do you feel that in your body? Because it helps us experience the emotion, but it also, like you said, brings us back into the moment where we're not. It's like a form of dissociation, right? We're
Yeah.
leaving our bodies, we're leaving and going into our heads. I think that's a great way that you said that. And it's like coming back into our bodies where we can act. And in fact, that's why ACT has acceptance and commitment therapy suggests you say ACT rather than ACT, because acting is such a big part of this process. So we act on these things that we can do or that we have capability to shift or change. And again, in the present moment, in our bodies. And we'll leave and go to our heads, and we'll leave and go to the future or the past. But the practice is to come back here into our bodies and into our moment where we can do something present momently. And then that awareness helps us, oh, I've left this moment. I'm coming back here. And that's one of the practices we do in it. We invite you to, no matter what your circumstance or your environment, especially if you can get outside, to do this practice of using all of your senses. So what you see, what you hear, what you feel, your position in just being outside, if you're sitting, standing, walking, the temperature of the air, if you're drinking something. And that this idea of the reason to do this is bringing you to the moment where you can get some practice of being in the moment, getting more familiar with your feelings, which helps you to be connected to your wise mind, and then allows you to act in ways that are going to take you on your journey that's more values based, which is more living in line with what matters to you. So if you like what we had to say today, take a look at our website at Woodhaven at millcreek.org. That's at is spelled out AT, Woodhaven at millcreek.org. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for watching as well. We'll see you soon.